Hey guys, having some technical difficulties today. Second attempt at the video. I'm really disappointed the first one's not going to work because it was basically a 10-minute stream of consciousness video where I broke down all the time frames. I'm going to attempt to summarize what we talked about in that video and give you guys the good information. So I'm going to work backwards this time. Daily time frame, what we are looking at is a pretty aggressive move into a potential bull flag. Our next resistance is at 1355. And one thing I want to be aware of is a potential trend line that comes to us from the 4-hour time frame. And we're going to go ahead and draw that in now. So 4-hour time frame, why did we pull back where we did? So here is our pullback from, I believe, 1446 was our high. Let's take a look at that. 1345 and 1346. So why do we pull back there? Well, what we're going to do is go and draw some trend lines, and we just connect a couple of points, see how things work out. I happen to know that these work out because, like I said, I just did this video. And then we see that we've got 1, 2 touches, and we get a third confirmation. So we have major resistance up here at this yellow trend line on the 4-hour time frame. So the longer trend line remains intact, the more aggressive the bulls need to break this. Now, this is a pretty aggressively sloping upward trend line, so it's a good level of resistance. And if bulls can keep bucking up against this resistance, it's going to be healthy for them. And it's going to take them till about March 5th, I think, on the daily time frame to get here up to test the 1355 resistance. So March 1st, potentially, March 4th, March 5th, something like that. So what we would expect to see, if we're just going to continue the same sort of pattern, is a push-up consolidation for about a week, push-up consolidation for a week. So we just did our push. So sideways movement would take us right underneath at March 5th into a bull move up to test 1355. Just a potentiality. But I'm going to be paying close attention to this trend line because we have our third confirmation and pullback today, and things are looking good. 4-hour time frame, there that is here. And 4-hour support, we moved pretty aggressively, so we don't have any 4-hour support down unless we drop back down to 1323. That's our low. But we also have this 1326 area that acted as support and resistance multiple times for us, so we'll be paying attention to that as well. On the 4-hour time frame, we did drop today pretty aggressively. We came up to test this trend line, pulled back, and again, we bounced off that 4-hour EMA 12. So that's a key level for us to be paying attention to on gold right now. It is acting as a major area of support and resistance for us, so we need to be paying attention to that very, very well. Last video, we talked about that. Price coming down, testing EMA 12, bouncing right back up. Another very good opportunity on gold. We saw a very aggressive drop that happened pretty quickly on really good volume, and then we bounced off that EMA. So I want to talk about a little bit here of what happened when we got that drop. So let's go look at the 15-minute time frame, and we can see we came up against that resistance. We broke over it on our initial push, closed back underneath, and then we had multiple attempts trying to get back over. Ultimately, we were rejected when we came right up to the level and pulled down. So what we want to know is what happened on this pullback and why is there so much volume on it? And more importantly, when did the volume come in? So we can see that we're consistently setting higher 15-minute lows and then lower highs on the 15-minute time frame, tightening this range up. But then all of a sudden we get this new lower low and a higher high, and it sort of blows this equilibrium out of the water, and it shows that there's increasing volatility coming into the commodity or the asset or whatever you happen to be trading. In this case, gold. So what I want to do in this case is I want to mark out my key level for the low because we already know that we broke, and I want to know what happened when we crossed this threshold. Was the volume before or after the break of that key level? So to figure that out, we go to the 1-minute time frame. We come in, take a look. Here's our pullback. Here's our big volume, and we'll draw a horizontal bar right on that time frame to see what is going on. And we can see that, well, we're sort of in the middle of both of these, but I believe that this volume corresponds to this candlestick here, which tells us that that volume started pouring in very heavily after we broke that key level. So we broke a key level, volume comes in, that tells us that that's an important level. We see a big drop, we see a bounce, back up to the level, rejection, and a further drop down to 1337, still acting as an area of resistance over here for another attempt at 1342 before pulling back. Now, if we go to the 15-minute time frame, that is going to be an important level for us. And what we'll do is we will adjust this to create ourselves a 15-minute potential equilibrium. And this is important because it helps us track what's happening in the markets and react to them. So far we've got 4 points on a potential EQ. We've got our low, our opening range, our higher low, our lower high, and we're going to keep drawing this in. So what does this mean for us moving forward? If this EQ plays out, there's two potentialities, of course. One, we break to the bull side, we get another attempt up at this trend line. If we get over the trend line, that trend line's still intact. It could be acting as resistance, so we will use it as such, and we will continue our march up to 1355. If we stay under it, it's still intact, as long as we are setting higher lows in the 4-hour time frame. We've already talked about that. And if we break bear, then we have no support on the 15-minute time frame, or really any time frame, until we get down to 1328 and 1326. 1326 again is the key resistance that we had been hitting over and over again, so it's more than likely that that is going to be our key level of support. So that's it for today. I hope this video worked well, and I hope the audio is okay. Thank you so much for listening. I really enjoy making these videos, and I love that you guys love them too. So let's make some money on gold. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.